Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Sunday conference of the National Electoral Commission. This conference takes place in the Electoral Studio and concerns parliamentary elections of 2019. The conference brings together Chairman of the National Electoral Commission, Judge Wiesław Kosielewicz, Deputy Chairman, Judge Zbigniew Cieślak, Member of the NEC, Judge Wiesław Buś, Head of the National Electoral Office, as well as Secretary of the NEC, Ms. Magdalena Pietrzak. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Witam panów na pierwszej konferencji.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I invite you to the first press conference on the election day, 2019, 13th of October. The election began at 7 a.m. without any obstacles. There have not been any cases of incidents in polling stations. There are 27,415 polling stations, 320 districts abroad, and all the other districts in Poland. No such districts have noted any delays. The District Electoral Commission, which is composed in general of 244,500 people, began its work. As during every election, as this election is no exception, there happen certain incidents. When we say incidents, we understand certain random events as well as the behaviors of the voters, of the candidates or any other citizens that infringe upon the acts of law, of the penal code, or any other infractions. And when I say infractions, I mean that certain actions are not crimes, but they are infractions that break the election silence and constitute actions that are against the law. And I would like to tell you that we received the following information from the headquarters of police as for 6 a.m. As usual, we have received notices concerning the breaks in election silence. This is an infraction, and one who commits it may be fined. Such incidents yesterday, as well as during the night, amounted to 64, only 64 nationwide. The greatest number of such incidents was noted in Białystok, 15, in Szczecin, 10. They concern the removal or tearing down of announcements and banners. Also, cases of theft of political banners have been noticed. This is due to the value of the banner. If such a banner has a greater value, this may be even considered a crime. We have noted 7 such cases. The greatest number was noted in Lublin, 2 cases. We have also noted political canvassing This is also breaking of the election silence. Such incidents amounted to 12 during the night. 4 such cases were noted in Chorzów Wielkopolski and 2 such cases were noted in Katowice.
Było zaledwie 45 takich przypadków.
Only 41 cases of canvassing, other than the sharing of materials, were noted statewide. The greatest number was noted in Warsaw, 4 cases, 2 cases in Łódź, and then in Gdańsk. Mostly, the propagation of election materials was conducted through the internet. Also, we have noted cases of announcing the results of public opinion polls. This is very rare, and I don't remember any such cases happening in the last few years.
To jest artykuł 500 kodeksu wyborczego. Tu patrzę na dziennikarzy, to kara tu jest bardzo surowa.
In light of Article 500 of the Penal Code, a person who, during the election silence, announces publicly the results of opinion polls that concern the predicted behaviors of voters or the predicted results of elections or any other polls, exit polls, can be fined, and the fine can amount to 500,000 zlotys to 1 million zlotys. We have received several notices of such actions. The police have been informed that during certain television emissions, the spectators were able to see the polls on the bottom of the screen. This is considered as breaking the election silence, and 3 such cases have been noted in Warsaw. The media have also reported fires in buildings which are situated all over the state and where the polling stations are located. I would like to repeat that there are 27,415 polling stations in general and 320 polling stations abroad. Indeed, yesterday in Łowcza, the municipality office, during maintenance work, there have been incidents and an explosion of the CO furnace. Indeed, there was a polling station in that building. Therefore, the mayor decided to move the polling station to a school in that area. Of course, the voters, after the polling station was moved, were informed about the incident and were informed where they should vote. Another case yesterday was very similar. I have also been questioned in the morning, and certain voters met me in the tram I was asked about the turnout and about the voters. Let me tell you the record for voter turnout after 1989. The highest turnout after 89 was noted in October 2007. Then we saw that the turnout was 53.88%. This was the highest turnout in parliamentary elections in the Third Republic of Poland. The second place is taken by the election in September 93. That was 16 years ago, and the turnout was 52.08%. The third place is taken by the most recent election to the Sejm and Senate, October 2015. The turnout was 50.22%. These are three cases after 89 where the turnout was higher than 50%. So after the year 89, it has only happened 3 times. Of course, before that, we had the People's Republic of Poland, PRL. We cannot say that those elections were fully democratic, and then the turnout was very high. The highest turnout was noted in the elections to the Sejm in March 80. This was the highest turnout ever, around 98%. One may smile, this is almost 100%. Of course, you can say that the real turnout, not the documented turnout, should be decreased by 20–30%. As for those turnouts where the work of the commissions was not questioned, this is the election to the contract Sejm in 89 on the 4th of June. The turnout was 62.11%. However, let me remind you that these elections took place while the People's Republic of Poland was still in place. The People's Republic of Poland was abolished in December that year. The greatest voter turnout was noted in the Second Republic of Poland in 1928. The voter turnout was then 78.3%. As for the Senate, in the between two wars period, the voter turnout was highest in 1938, 1 year before the Second World War. The voter turnout was 70%. The topic of the voter turnout is very often introduced, and everyone is encouraged to cast their ballots. This is like preparing a feast for the voters. The costs are very high. And today we are waiting, as if we were organizing this feast. How many will come? How many will not come.
żeby przychodziły i korzystały z tej możliwości oddania głosu. W Polsce nie ma
We
przymusu
invite you to come, and we invite you to
wyborczego.
be able to, you are all able to cast your vote, so we invite you to do
Jest to
so.
dobrowolny wybór
In
każdego
Poland,
obywatela, który ma
you
prawa wyborcze.
are not
Jego
punished for
swoboda
not
decyzji, czy on
casting your
chce
vote.
przyjść i zagłosować, czy też
So
nie.
this is
Jego
your privilege.
Ale warto,
You may decide whether you want to cast your vote or not,
nasze konferencje, aby
but
wyborcy
it is
korzystali z tej
definitely worth
możliwości.
it.
Bo jeśli chodzi o frekwencję w Polsce,
We would like you to take advantage of this possibility.
2 dni temu, to mamy jedną z niższych w Europie.
As for voters' turnout, I mentioned the day before yesterday that we are at the bottom of the list of states in Europe.
A nawet, jak powiedziałem, na Grenlandii,
This compared to other states is very low.
71%. Tam mają i zaspy, mają i lodowce, i
In Greenland, in the last parliamentary elections, was over 70%. And there, the climate is very harsh, but so many voters managed to cast their vote. Here we are happy when the turnout is over 50%. This is all I would like to say. If you have anything to add, if you have any questions, please ask them freely. Before we move on to the questions, I would like to invite the delegation from Estonia, Latvia, and Finland. Thank you for coming. TVN24, first question. I would like to ask about the polling station in which incidents have been noted today. How did this happen? From what we have ascertained, the incident was the following. The polling station is situated in the school, in a gymnasium. The commission, during the voting process, saw that there was smoke coming from one of the lamps. Therefore, the voting was interrupted. Firemen were called and they acted on it. The polling station was moved to another room. So this was only recess that took a very short period of time. So this has been the only incident today. I also mentioned 2 incidents that happened yesterday. So this is the only incident that has happened today, and this will not definitely cause the prolongation of the election silence. Over to you, madam. This was the Makielskie Powiat, however, I do not remember the exact place. Next question. You have mentioned that this incident would not result in the prolongation of the election silence, but there is such a possibility. If there are any incidents, any urgencies, then the district commissions may take such a decision. Could you please tell us what the process looks like exactly? These must be real urgencies, flooding, for example, any force major events. Then the District Electoral Commission and the Constituency Electoral Commission may decide to prolong the electoral silence. However, this is just for urgencies. Normally, a recess only is ordered. The most important thing is for the voters to be able to cast their votes. Today, no such situation has taken place because no voters came to the station at that time, This took only half an hour. It was established that the smoke posed no threat to any of the voters or members of the commission, and the polling station is still in the same building. I think we only prolonged the election silence once. This was during the presidential elections of 2015. This is when a voter passed away in a polling station. An ambulance had to be called, and of course CPR had to be performed on the voter. That is why the Commission decided to apply for prolongation of the election silence. It turns out that at that time only 3 or 4 voters decide to vote. So this is the only incident where the election silence was prolonged. I would like to add that the voting yesterday began on the Western Hemisphere, and we have already received 23 protocols certified by the polling election districts. 23 districts out of the 27,415, let me just add, and 320 districts abroad. And the last commission is the most important here, because only after that we can draw conclusions. And as we know, sometimes we need to wait several hours for the very last commission. Thank you so much for your attention. This was the conference of the National Electoral Commission. The next conference takes place at 1:30, and we will present the results of the turnout as for 12 p.m. Thank you.